Before spending over $500 on a lawnmower, I wanted to know one thing. Can this mower actually handle real-world yards? Not perfect lawns, I'm talking about thick grass, wet grass, hills, overgrown grass, Florida heat. So I ended up buying Toro Recycler Max, and over the next several weeks, I put it through every test I could think of. By the end of this video, you'll know whether this mower is actually worth buying.
Inside the box, you get the mower itself, the grass collection bag, a bottle of engine oil, and the owner's manual.
Pretty straightforward. The handle comes folded down in a box, so you have to attach and adjust that first, but honestly it only takes few minutes.
There really isn't a whole bunch of assembly here, which I actually really appreciate because I wasn't looking for a weekend-long project. I just wanted to get this thing set up and see how it performed. Putting it together is pretty simple. Just loosen these knobs on both sides, raise the handle into the position, tighten everything back down, and you're ready for the next step. Once the handle is in its place, make sure these blue locking clips are fully snapped into a position on both sides to secure everything before you start mowing. For this part, I found it easier to connect the control cable first before mounting the handle clip. Once the cable is hooked up, just snap it into a place and you're good to go. Before moving on, give it a quick test by squeezing the control bar to make sure everything is catching properly and everything is moving in the way it should. Next, remove the oil cap and pour the entire bottle of oil that comes with the mower. If you're using a different oil, just make sure that you check the level and don't overfill it. Once the oil is in, next thing is to add the fresh gasoline. If you can find the ethanol-free 87 octane fuel, that's what I recommend, but regular 87 octane will also work fine. Just make sure that you're using a fresh gas before firing it up for the first time. Now the moment of truth. Take a look at this. First pull and it fired right up. Compared to my old mower that needed 10 pulls, a prayer, and a motivational speech before I would even think about starting, this was a huge upgrade. One quick tip though, on a brand new mower, let it run for like a couple of minutes before putting it under a heavy load. It actually gives the engine time to warm up, lets the oil circulate properly, and helps everything settle before you start attacking that thick grass. Now the question is, how powerful is this machine? To really put this thing to test, I have 5 solid Florida grass challenges. Test number 1 is a normal lawn. This is what 80% of you probably will mow every week. Test number 2 is Canal slope grass. This will really show us how this mower can handle hills and unwoven ground. Test number 3, the backyard jungle. This really is a jungle. This grass is almost up to my knees. Test number 4 is a bushy side yard. Yeah, all sorts of things could live up in here.
Before we get into the crazy stuff, here's how it really handles the normal lawn. As you can see me, moving towards the camera direction here, and honestly, this is where this mower actually feels right at home.
This is a kind of a grass homeowners mow every week, and Toro had absolutely no problem cutting it. It was effortless, seamless, and it was super easy. That's a clean buzz cut right there.
Next up, we have a creekside slope. Now this area is always pain in my butt. The grass actually grows thicker here, it stays wetter longer, and for whatever reason, it just seems much tougher than everything else around the yard. This is also the kind of a spot where some mowers actually start struggling because you're dealing with an unwoven ground, thicker growth, and slight incline all at the same time. But honestly, the Toro handled the section way better than I expected.
This guy absolutely ate this.
Now this is where things started getting serious. Usually my backyard does not look this crazy, okay? But for the sake of this review, I let the grass grow out for about a month so that I could really put this mower to the test.
Since this grass is knee high, I literally had to raise the deck up a little.
Some of this grass was literally up to my knees, and if you're shopping for a mower, this is the kind of a situation that quickly separates the machines that can actually handle overgrowth from the ones that cannot.
But take a look at this. That literally chewed the whole thing up. Seriously, this is a clean cut right here. So far, I'm pretty impressed with this thing. Next, we have a side bush test, and this was easily the toughest section of the entire yard. The grass was thick, it was crazy looking, it was so dense that it was actually hard to push the mower through it. I'm not going to pretend the Toro just walked right through this, because it didn't. In the middle of this, engine actually stalled, which honestly wasn't surprising considering what I was asking the machine to cut. But once I raised the deck, took smaller bites, and worked through the section by section, it actually kept making progress and eventually chewed its way through the overgrowth. But look at this grass though, like, look at this. This is like insane. My backyard grass is up to like this height. Look at this right here. Look at this. Look at this. This thing is up until my waist. These things are up until almost that window right there. So yeah, this is crazy. This kind of mower is not what you use to cut this kind of grass. He still rammed that thing though. The rain that we were waiting for is finally here and everything is getting wet nicely. All right, so it stopped raining and now we're gonna see how it's gonna perform on a wet grass. Wet grass is the final challenge here. If you owned the mower before, you already know the wet grass changes everything. It's heavier, it clumps together, it sticks underneath the deck, and it puts a lot more strain on both the blade and the engine. This is actually one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this test, because mower can look great cutting a dry grass, but wet grass is where you really find out how well the cutting system actually works. As I was mowing, one thing I noticed was that mower continued pulling the grass through and mulching it instead of immediately turning it into a clogged mess. This Toro can definitely handle its wet grass. Wow, it absolutely had no issues. This was yesterday's line and this was today's line. Here, I want to give you guys an up-close shot of what this looks like. He passed the rain check. Now the big question is it worth $500 price tag?
Personally, I think a lot of that comes down to what you're getting for the extra money. And you're getting a strong Briggs Stratton engine, self-propelled drive, solid cutting performance from what I see, and a mower that's simply more comfortable to use.
Can you buy a cheaper mower? You absolutely can.
But after spending time with this one, it feels less like you're paying for a lawnmower and more like you're paying for a better mowing experience every weekend.
One thing I quickly appreciated about this mower is how simple it is to live with.
It starts easily, controls are straightforward, and there really isn't much of a learning curve here. So you just pull it out, start it up, and get to work. Over the course of my testing, it felt dependable, and that's something that's hard to put a price on. When you're mowing your lawn, the last thing you want is wonder whether this machine is actually going to cooperate. So if you're looking for a mower that's easy to own, easy to start, and easy to use, I think that's one of the areas where the Toro really shines here.
Now let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Toro versus electric lawnmower Ego.
Honestly, Ego makes some really good electric mowers, and if you have a smaller yard and mow regularly, I absolutely see why someone would choose this. For me, it really came down to the size of my property and the type of grass that I was dealing with. Between the front yard, the canal slope, the backyard, and some of the overgrown areas, I really needed something that could run as long as I needed without having to worry about batteries, charging times, or run time. I also wanted a maximum cutting power for a thick Florida grass, not because electric mowers cannot cut the grass, they absolutely can, but when you're dealing with a heavy growth, wet conditions, or grass that's growing out of control, I still think gas has the advantage here. With the Toro, if I need more runtime, I just add more gas and keep it going. No charging, no waiting, no wondering if I have enough battery left to finish the job. Now, if my yard was smaller and I was mowing once per week under a normal conditions, I probably would have given an Ego a shot here. But for my situation, the Toro just made more sense.
So who do I think this mower is for?
If you have a medium to large yard, deal with a thick grass, live in places like Florida, or occasionally let your lawn get a little out of control, I think this mower makes a lot of sense. On the other hand, if you have a small yard and mow consistently every week, you could probably get away with spending less or even going electric. But if you're looking for a mower that can handle pretty much anything your yard throws at it, this Toro definitely earned my respect.
I'm gonna give you guys 5 good tips on a maintenance here. After you finish mowing, you gotta let the engine cool off. Only area that really needs cleaning occasionally is underneath the deck. A lot of grass can build up underneath here. You should always keep that clean, especially if you're gonna use it on a wet grass. I also will recommend that you keep the top of the deck also like cleaned up, because you can see like, grass gets stuck everywhere. Take a good care of your mower and your mower will take care of your lawn. Next, every 25 to 30 hours, make sure you change the oil. If you get a brand new mower, I would change your oil on a first round at 5 hours. Break it in, and then 25 to 30 hours I would recommend, but you could also do 25 to 50 hours. You gotta remember, oil is cheap, but engines aren't. Every few mows, you gotta check the air filter. Just pop it open just like this. So if your air filter is super dirty, it will cause your machine to have less power, it'll have harder time to run and harder time to start. And it also uses more fuel. You saw it comes off easily, and it does not take a long time to just take a peek. I would say 5 to 10 sessions checking on it is a good idea. Once or twice per season, underneath it, sharpen those blades. It's not that complicated. There's plenty of YouTube videos that you can watch on how to do it. Next, biggest one is the fuel management. Don't leave fuel sitting in there for a 6 month or a year or like even longer. You gotta use fresh gas, because if you don't, that's how the carb problems start. Now, last tip for the day. End of the season, if you're gonna be storing this for months, either work this mower to run out of the fuel from mowing the lawn, or you gotta add a fuel stabilizer. That will prevent all the fuel system headaches later. So yeah, there is not really much maintenance here, guys. Keep the fresh gas in, change the oil occasionally, sharpen those blades underneath once in a while, and clean the grass out from underneath. That's about it. Overall, I think Toro did a fantastic job with this mower. It's powerful, it's easy to use, it's comfortable to operate, and most importantly, it feels like a machine you can actually depend on when it's time to get the yard job done. For my property and the type of a grass that I deal with, I think I made the right choice. And hopefully this review helped you decide whether it's the right choice for you too. I'll see you guys in my next one.
Why? My old mower smoked and died. Thought I'd lose that yard outside.